Jamaica family. I'm here back at what I call ground zero. Well, for me at least, it's ground zero here in Black River, St. Elizabeth. Now I am on the western side of the town, the part that the section that was merely inaccessible the last two times I came here. Now I'm basically on the coastline, looking at some of the as I said, looking at some of the extensive damage that to infrastructure that I would have noticed here. In terms of, this is a section of the seawall here in Black River that has collapsed. All of the columns and so on that is here on the seawall have been virtually destroyed. As you look, you can see that's a lot of them. This has been here for quite some time, because you can see, as I take a closer look, that a lot of this is kind of rusty and old. So with a category 5 hurricane with 85 miles per hour wind, you know the kind of damage, well, it's obvious the kind of damage that it has caused. Now in terms of traffic flow has gotten back to relatively normal. We can see over here, I think we're looking at the remains of the courthouse here in Black River, and I think also next door, that is where the municipal council office would be, or you'd say the municipal chamber. So this has been one of the many buildings that has suffered very serious damage here in Black River, catastrophic damage because of the level of the wind. This just shows you what 185 miles per hour wind can do. You can see the entire roof here had collapsed. The entire roof in here had collapsed. Thankfully there was nobody inside of this building. And you know, strange enough, persons would have looked at buildings like these and said that they would have been basically safe. And you know that Hurricane Melissa has proven otherwise in terms of the destruction that she has caused here in Black River. Now we're going to go through this area. Yes, you see the no entry sign, but that would have been for regular business hours. We're going to take a closer look at some of these offices. You can see inside here. Okay, there's also like adult diapers. There are a number of documents here. I don't know if anything is salvageable. Let's take a closer look here. Office is totally destroyed. Mud, muck all over. Wow, ironically. Emergency shelter. Wow. The shelter itself needed a shelter. No pun intended. Here again, another office space. Everything in here no longer, maybe you can save like the cabinets, but all of the printers and everything, those will be no longer functional. Here I think I saw a sign earlier that says, yes, parking the mayor. So apparently the mayor's parking, the mayor for Black River would have parked in this area, hence that means that he would have had an office close by. Now we're looking at the rear of the building. Or am I mistaken? Is this the office of the municipal council? It probably is. It probably is, because it says the building department. It says Ministry of Water Supplies Department. Or no, it says Minor Water Supplies Department. So this is probably the municipal council's office. So I more than likely would have been mistaken earlier on by looking and saying that this is the courthouse. Even though I've been to Black River on a number of occasions, I just don't recall the correct building. And the department that I was looking at earlier, it says disaster department. Why iron is all iron is. Here we can see a one of these water tanks which was destroyed. This vehicle obviously doesn't have any much use. Glass is all shattered. Here we can see that this would have been more than likely some kind of computer room. You're seeing the link basic system, which would have all kind of cabling and all kind of probably GPUs and CPUs inside there. Again, in here, collapsed. And looking at the rest of the building here, you can see more and more devastation. I must be honest, every time I come and I look at all the different areas, the devastation is just you didn't think that it could be worse, and it just looks worse every time. Behind here I noticed that there's like some water that has settled in this area, so you know, again, that's another mosquito issue now for residents here in Black River, something that we have to be very extremely careful and cautious of, because this means spreading of all kind of different waterborne diseases, especially for the little young ones, you know. And you see it's to the rear of community members, of residents, buildings and so on. So you can imagine what it's like here, especially like late evenings. Over here is the drop-in center, or at least what remains of it. The structure isn't so bad because it's a newer structure. So this is a newer structure. And you can see more of the structure over this side. Let's just take a closer look to see what's on the inside. The floors, well, here in here is not so bad. Good afternoon. I didn't even apologies, sir. Afternoon. What? This was the municipal council? Where's the courthouse? Over the other. So this building here is the municipal council building. This is also the courthouse. Oh, yes, I figured, huh? Yes, the courthouse is the second floor. Okay. So was it functional before the hurricane hit it? Okay. So where were court sessions held? Oh. So from a historical purpose though, this is still the courthouse building. Okay. Thank you very much for that information, sir. Yeah, man. You take care and be safe. Yes, so just had some clarification. Yes, it is the courthouse, at least the original courthouse here in Black River, which was on the second floor, but wasn't functional because it was going through some refurbishing, and they had municipal operations, I think, on the first floor. So this is a Jeremy Palmer Everton Fisher Municipal Chamber, which is more than likely a meeting area. I see a little traffic build up here. I'm not sure. Oh, there are some bikers in front. I'm not sure what is causing them to stop and causing this situation. Well, that's something that should be easily sought out itself. So there's another look here at the old courthouse building. Just going to make my way back onto the main road, get to my vehicle, so you can see more of the devastation in terms of what Hurricane Melissa has done to this entire area. Just Melissa just literally boxed down or knocked down everything in our path. No mercy at all. I noticed that there are some buildings over there looking like apartments, which seem to now have been gutted. So One Love family, I'm going to make my way a bit closer to those buildings that I see that look like apartments, or number of buildings I see lined up. So this is what remains of the library. This seems like it's fixable. Doesn't seem too bad. Windows kind of destroyed. You can take a look on the inside. As I said, this doesn't look too bad. So things are salvageable here at the library in Black River. So at least where the library is concerned, the rebuilding, it's not as bad as they're going to need a new municipal council building. A lot of history has been destroyed with this hurricane. A lot of buildings, a lot of older buildings that have been here for probably 100 years or more. A lot of those buildings, churches, mainly churches, destroyed. Now, let me take a walk over to this area. As I said, these buildings that look like apartments over here. I've been well, no, totally this.
Black River has always been a town shaped by history, a place where Georgian architecture, the old courthouse, the century-old church, and the iconic Waterloo Guesthouse stood as proud markers of Jamaica's past. But with the devastation left behind by Hurricane Melissa, much of that heritage now lies in ruins. The storm did not just damage buildings, it erased physical chapters of the nation's story, pieces of identity that had survived for generations. Yet, even in the shadow of loss, there is room for reflection and renewal. Black River now stands at a crossroads. The destruction may signal the end of an era, but it also presents a rare opportunity for a new beginning, a chance to rebuild stronger, smarter, and more steadfast than before. And as the town looks towards the future, one truth remains. Jamaicans have always risen in the face of adversity. From the community to community, parish to parish, the spirit of our people continues to push forward. In the wake of history lost, Jamaica can and must grow from strength to strength.